Hi everyone, welcome to evening yoga. Yoga can be a really nice way to wind down at the end of the day and prepare your body for good rest at night. We'll be doing a short practice today. I will be using a bolster, a couple of blocks, and a folded blanket, which I'm sitting on right now. If you don't have a bolster, this is a firmer kind of cushion that we use to support the body in yoga. Grab a couple of regular pillows. And then if you're using regular pillows, then I would also grab a chair because this is going to work better to support you than pillows for some of the postures we'll be doing. If you don't have blocks, don't worry about it too much. I'll give you some options when we get to that part of the practice. We're going to start in seated, so you can be on a chair if that works better for you, or you can be on the floor. Sit in any comfortable position so you don't have to be cross-legged. And I am, as I mentioned, sitting on a folded blanket. Sometimes we can be a little more relaxed and have more ease in a seated posture if we are seated up a little higher with something underneath the hips. We're going to take a moment just to feel the parts of the body that are in contact with the ground. So your sitting bones on the ground or a chair, your feet, possibly parts of your legs. Seeing if you can get a little heavier down into those places. Start to slow your breath down a little bit. Not so much that it's strained, just finding a nice, easy rhythm of breath. Maybe starting to feel your inhale breath coming into your side ribs a little bit. So as you're inhaling, your rib cage is broadening out to the sides. Nice and gentle. Maybe some of the breath even comes into the back of your lungs. No strain, just a nice gentle expansion through the whole rib cage. From here, we're going to bring the right hand down to the floor. Inhale the left arm up if your shoulder allows. If you're in a chair, by the way, that right hand can just come to the leg or to the seat of the chair or the armrest of the chair. Coming into a side bend here towards the right side. Full easy breath through the whole left side ribs, letting the breath open up. And then you might stay here, you might add a little twist. So as you inhale, you might open your gaze and your heart towards the ceiling a little more. And then exhaling down towards that right leg. So either still or moving with your breath. And make this feel good. It doesn't have to be perfect. See if you can match that movement to the flow of your breath if you're moving. And then come back to that side bend. Reach through the left hand to come up. Left hand comes down to the floor. Right hand's going to come up and over if your shoulder allows. Finding that side bend over to the left side. Opening up space for breath through the right side ribs. And then you can either stay here or you can move a little with your breath. Inhaling, gaze and heart up towards the ceiling. Exhale, down towards the left leg. Finding a range of motion that feels good for you. This side could feel different from the other side, so maybe this movement is bigger or smaller. Maybe it feels smoother or less smooth than the other side. Look for a way you can introduce just a little bit more ease into your movement here. Maybe syncing up with a breath, letting the breath move you. We'll come back to that side bend. We're going to reach through that right hand to come all the way back up. And then we're going to come into a forward fold here. So there's a couple of different ways we can do this depending on your body and what feels good. You might be cross-legged. You might have your legs extended out. If you're on a chair, you're probably sitting with your feet on the floor. One thing we can do here is we can bring the bolster to support the forehead. That might look like this in the lap. If you're on the floor, it might look like this between the legs. Or, some of us may be more flexible. You may be able to comfortably come down to rest your forehead on the cushion in your lap. The aim here is not to be straining at the edge of your ability. The aim is to have that cushion support your relaxation response. If you are finding that none of that is working for you, you might use the chair if you're seated on the floor and come forward onto that chair. So doing your best to find an option where you have some support for your forehead if possible. If that just isn't possible where you're at, that's okay. Maybe you're just folded forward a little bit here and breathing. Nice full inhale into the back of your body. As you exhale, let your body relax. Knowing that you don't have to force relaxation, it will come when your system is ready. Breathing in, breathing out, maybe getting a little heavier. Letting your body settle. Notice what happens when you come into a position like this. If the mind is busy, that's okay. That's part of the function of mind. So we don't have to fight against it. If you can, just gently redirect it towards your breath. So you're just feeling what your breath is doing here. Inhaling. Exhaling. Just observing. Notice the sensations in your legs, your back. Inviting any tension to unwind when it's ready. No need to force anything. If your body's ready to let go, it will let go. And if it's not, it won't. And that's okay. And we'll take a couple more breaths here. And then you might use your hands for a little support as you come up. We're going to move that bolster out to the side for now. We'll use it again a little later in the practice. And then we're going to make our way to lie down. So you're going to want to have a little space for your body. If you have that folded blanket and you feel like you would like a little pillow under your head, you're welcome to use that. Or if you have an actual pillow, you can use that. Coming to lie down, whether you're on the floor or on your bed. And we're actually going to want this cushion to be off to the side. So give ourselves a little bit of space. If it feels okay for you, you're going to extend your legs long on the mat. If that causes any discomfort, you can leave the legs bent. And then you're going to see how it feels to take your arms alongside your ears. Again, if this causes discomfort, you can bend your elbows or you can just let your arms come down by your sides. First thing we're going to do is take a couple of nice, easy breaths, just feeling in. And then you're going to inhale, reach your legs long, heels reaching away from you, and then reach your fingers long, get nice and extended through the whole body. Breathe in and breathe out to relax. Now you're going to walk your feet over to the right, any amount. Your pelvis may
Rotate so that the right hip comes up more towards the right armpit and the left hip moves away from the bottom of the rib cage. But we do want the backs of both hips to stay on the floor, and we want this to feel comfortable. It doesn't have to be much or at all if it's not feeling good. If your knees are bent, that's okay. You can still walk over towards the right. Yeah. And then we're also going to walk the hands and the shoulders over to the right, any amount that feels good. Here too, you're going to pay attention to what you feel in your body. Shoulders might rotate on the ground, but we want the backs of both shoulders to stay rooted. And then if it feels good, you might use the right hand to just lightly grasp the left wrist, holding it in place. If it feels good to cross the left ankle over the right, you might do that as well. And you're going to take some nice, easy breaths into the whole entire left side of your body. If the purpose of this is not to make the biggest banana or C-shaped curve, crescent moon curve, however you think about this shape, but rather to have a deeper experience of breath in the whole left side of your body. Is there anything you would do to adjust your posture so that you're more comfortable, so you have more ease, less effort? Just breathing and feeling. Nothing else needs to be done right now. There is no rush here. If you have those ankles crossed, you might uncross them. You might release the wrist if you're holding on to it. Walk everything back to center. Get long through the center and then walk everything over to the left. So again, if your arms are down, that's fine. You can still bring your shoulders left. If your knees are bent, that's fine. You can still bring your hips a little bit over to the left. But remember, we want to be comfortable wherever you are. So there's no need to strain. If you want to cross your right ankle over the left, only if it feels good, you might do that. And if you want to use that left hand just to anchor the right wrist, we don't need to pull it any further over. We're just going to give it a little bit of weight here. And then breathing and feeling in the whole right side. And take just a couple more breaths here. If you've crossed the ankles, you could uncross them. If you're holding the wrist, you can release it. Walk everything back to center. If it feels good to stretch long in the center, you can do that. And then you might bring your arms down to the sides. You might bend your legs. Take a moment here to just feel how things are now. And then we'll roll to one side and press up. Or if you want to come up a different way, that's fine. We're going to adjust for the next posture. So for this one, you're going to want your bolster. Or if you're using pillows, you're going to use pillows. I'm going to bring these into your mat. And then we're going to lie on top of the bolster. From here, you're going to slide towards your head until your head and your shoulders slide down to the floor. So we want this to be comfortable. A little bit of a back bend happening here. You have a couple of options for your lower body. You could just let your legs tent in towards each other a little bit and stay here, or you could extend the legs out long. If this feels like a little bit much here with the legs extended, but you feel like you're close, you could actually put your blocks under the heels here as well. And we're just going to be here breathing, letting the shoulders rest on the ground. With each exhale, getting a little heavier. Letting the inhales move nice and easy into all that space in the front of the body. Letting your eyes get heavy in their sockets. Letting your hands and your feet get a little heavier. Nice, easy breath in and out. Seeing where you can unwind just a little bit more here. When you're ready to come out of this posture, you have a couple of options. There's no rush here. Start by bending your knees either way. And then option one is you're going to slide towards your head till your hips come down to the floor. Option two is you can extend one arm alongside your ear and very carefully roll off to your side. Either way, you're going to rest for a moment wherever you've arrived. Taking a few nice easy breaths. And then we'll press up and prepare for the final posture here. You may want something for your head. You may want to put your feet up on the chair. So a couple of options. One is lying down with your legs on the chair like so. The other option is that you're going to use your blocks to support your bolster in a shape that looks a little bit like Stonehenge. So I have the blocks about as wide as my hips. I have that bolster on top. And I'm going to lie down so that my knees bend. My calves rest on the bolster over top of the block. And maybe I have a support here for my head as well. You're just going to let yourself settle in. Starting by feeling your breath coming in and out of your body. Letting your breath get a little quieter. Letting your body relax wherever it's willing. No need to force anything. Start to count your exhale breaths backwards, starting from 9, counting all the way down to 0. Count just your exhales. and rest in the light of your awareness. When you're ready, you can start to deepen your breath. Maybe wiggling your fingers and toes. Gently bringing your legs towards you, you can hug them in. Maybe rock a little bit from side to side. Eventually rolling over to one side. And use your hands to support you as you make your way back up. If you need to come up a different way, that works too. Once you're upright, take a moment to connect to the support of the ground, to absorb the natural spaciousness of your heart. So if you're doing this in the evening, this would be a good time to transition towards the rest of your evening routine, making your way towards sleep. Thank you for practicing with me. May we all be balanced and well. I hope you have a good night.